Hey viewers, it's James Kalm, the guy on the bike, and we're on the Bowery in front of the new museum. We're not going to go into the new museum. What are you guys waiting in line for? We don't know what the name of the show is? Okay, they're waiting in line for some show. I just asked somebody who doesn't even know. We're actually going to run in here to Salon 94 and take a look at a show by Marilyn Minter. Stay tuned. I don't know if this is going to work out or not. Very crowded. You can hear the din of the crowd. We might have to come back. Everybody's having such a nice time talking and standing in front of the paintings that this doesn't look like the best moment to be trying to look at the art. So I kind of copped out when the opening was happening and decided that I was going to have to come back and get a view of Marilyn's paintings here with out so many people standing in front of them and talking. Actually, I'm going to read a little bit from the press release that I thought was interesting. For a Playboy commission in 2014, Minter photographed a diverse group of models up close, their pubic hair au naturel. After the magazine's editors rejected her Bush editorial publishing company, Fulton Rider, stepped up and published all 69 photos. Plush, the resulting artist book, celebrating the female nude without any digital retouching, Minter used this publication as a starting point for her new series of paintings. While the advertising and fashion community uses Photoshop to remove perceived flaws, Minter employs it as a drawing tool, combining elements from many negatives into a newly constructed complex image subsequently used as source imagery for her paintings. I think that Marilyn's work is actually interesting in a lot of ways. One way is that I like the way it kind of plays on a contemporary version of feminist art, I guess you would say. And well, that's almost combined with a historical, conceptual bend of I guess what would be called the Pictures Generation group. This piece is titled Vapor 2016 Enamel on Metal, 84 by 56 inches. I'm looking at this and I'm actually thinking about a group of Renoirs that I saw at the Barnes Foundation last summer, and how a lot of people were saying that the Barnes Foundation has some of the worst Renoirs there are, but in certain ways the bad Renoirs are the best. But they were so feathery and fluffy and almost vaporous that there's actually a kind of a interesting relationship. I think Marilyn has been bumping around in New York at least since the East Village days. I'm not sure, but I think she may have had a couple of shows with Gracie Mansion. And well, there was a group of pretty well recognized female artists that came along at the end of the 70s. People like Cindy Sherman, Barbara Kruger, Louise Lawler, Laurie Simmons. I think we got a picture of Laurie Simmons here at the opening. And well, they were kind of establishing a new vernacular for photography. And there were some men that were involved in that as well, like Richard Prince. This is titled Ginger. I wonder why. One of the great things about these pieces is that if you walk up and you stand about 6 feet away from them, the image just blurs out into a kind of a foggy, pointillist mist. And it's only when you stand back that they sort of coalesce into these erotic figures. I don't know. So getting back to the pictures generation, this is 84 by 60 inches. These were all kind of promoted by October Magazine, Rosalind Krauss, and Douglas Crimp, who actually curated the famous pictures exhibition at Artist Space in 1977. But because Marilyn is a painter, she was kind of pushed to the side, like a lot of painters were. And one of the things that I admire about her work is that although she's kind of playing in some mutated realm between photography, video, and painting, the painting has always taken on a very important part of her practice. It's titled Big Breath 2016 Enamel on Metal. You know, when I was here at the opening, there were so many people crowded around them that I would have to be coming up about 6 inches away from the surface of these things. And although, we'll take a look, you can see that Marilyn has a very immaculate surface that you really have a hard time deciphering what these images are. So this is an open mouth. And this is titled Thigh Gap 2016 Enamel on Metal. That's another interesting thing, that Marilyn has been working on metal for as long as I've known her. And I think you might be able to go back in either the rough cut or the James Kalm files and see a show that we covered. I think it was maybe Marilyn Minter from the 80s. And maybe some of those were on canvas. So Marilyn kind of is floating between, like I said, the pictures generation and also a type of photorealism. And there were some great artists working in that realm. I guess Chuck Close doesn't really consider himself a photorealist, but Audrey Flack. And their work also has a kind of conceptual aspect to it. Now, one of the other things I think is interesting is that I think Marilyn probably teaches maybe at SVA. I've seen her out in afternoons in Chelsea with a group of students touring, but this kind of surface that she achieves, that she really wants to go for, and that's why she uses the metal, would be actually considered high academic. You know, it's very polished, and it says that she's working with enamel, and then she actually kind of smudges this down with her finger. But I saw Stephen Westfall at the opening, and he was talking to her about the surface of the paintings, and he gestured with his tongue. You know, there's a term that the academic painters use called the licked surface. Okay, that might not be totally appropriate. Don't start mentioning Donald Trump to me about this. But that is the kind of a signifier of high academic art, is the licked surface. And so it's kind of interesting that Marilyn is not only kind of transgressing with her imagery of ladies' naked bodies and kind of erotic poses, but also that she's brought back a very, what can I say, un-avant-garde technique of the highly lit surface. This is titled Deep Frost. Now, these pieces are so well painted and are done so immaculately that I had a friend that came and I saw at the opening. He was standing about 10 feet away and looked at it and said, "Is this a digital print?" And I had to laugh because he runs a print shop that produces digital prints. So, well, that gives you an idea of the photographic quality that Marilyn has gotten with the paintings. So I think another interesting thing is the way that, although these might be photorealistic, she's got a lot of various illusions. Says that she photoshops a lot of negatives together, but the foggy, misty glass, the drips, these things all add in making these images more abstract. And it seems like the most realistically rendered parts of these are all the parts that make them more abstract. Okay, well, we're up here in the office. This piece is titled Tender, 2016 enamel on metal. Sort of see some blue fingernails coming in there. 48 by 42 inches. This fatter lip. .45 by 36. This is James Kalm reporting on Marilyn Minter. Recent paintings at Salon 94. 243 Bowery on the Lower East Side. Thank you, Kate. Yay! Thank you!
Thank you very much. Thank you.